Welcome back, everybody. We are back once again with the Wheel of Names. So we've only got 5 cars left. Well, 5 cars left out of the exclusive cars. I did say I would review cars that do exist in 4 and 5, but they're like different in 4, like a different generation. So we'll definitely do those too. But for right now, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. Achoo! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Ooh. Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. The Perennial. A classic car. I've actually wanted to do this car for a long time, because I actually really like the look of this car. So, yeah, we're going to be doing the Dinka Perennial. Let's go. 2006 Dinka Perennial, another classic vehicle in the franchise. This is probably the only other car we got that was an MPV besides the minivan in the HD games. Sadly, it didn't make the cut to GTA 5. (2006) Dinka Perennial. I get it. You're too good for the minivan, and you don't want to attract some unwanted attention with the moonroof. So you bought this, a fairly decent looking Japanese MPV. I really like this MPV, I really do. I love it because while it is a minivan at its core, it's sleek rear wheel drive and has a huge moonroof on it. I mean, look at this thing. However, this final generation of the Perennial is far different from its predecessors. The Perennial has existed since the old days of the 3D era in GTA 3. Throughout most of its life, it remained relatively the same, which its design was based on a 1962-1969 Chevrolet Chevy 2 Nova wagon. God, that's a long name. It was also inspired by other old-school wagons like the Jeep Grand Wagoneer and Peugeot 404 and 504 wagon. It only changed the design slightly in the PSP games Liberty and Vice City Stories, where in that game it resembled an Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser. One of the more prominent owners of these cars most people remember was Big Smoke from San Andreas, which you discover right at the beginning of the game. CJ, the main character, is quick to notice his new whip.
Nice car, Smoke. You know me, it's not cut. Keep the value in and keep it real.
But unfortunately, his new ride didn't last very long.
Ballers! Drive by! Incoming!
Oh, motherfucker, my car!
Anyway, one unique variant I was able to find in the 3D games was the hearse from Liberty City Stories. It looks relatively the same as the base model, but is slightly enlarged and only seats 2 people for, obvious reasons. The Perennial, however, got a complete redesign in GTA 4, as you can clearly see, now resembling a second generation Honda Stream mixed with bits of various vehicles, including, but not limited to, a third generation CR-V, Mercedes-Benz R-Class, Audi A4 B8 Avant, and many more. I'll be focusing on the Honda Stream for the knowledge section, as the overall shape greatly resembles it. The Honda Stream was an MPV design mostly for Japan and other Asian markets, so unfortunately we didn't get it here. To give Honda some credit, I'm sure it wouldn't have sold well to begin with, since we already had the Odyssey by that point, and the Stream lacked any kind of V6 powertrain option, something you absolutely need when designing a minivan or other MPV. Second generation was produced from 2006 to 2014 and featured 2 engine options, a 1.8 R18 A1 single cam inline 4 with Honda's intelligent VTEC, or simply iVTEC, which produced around 140 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque. This was also the same engine offered in the 8th generation US market Honda Civic. The other option was a 2-liter R20A1 inline-4, which is also a single cam and also had iVTEC. This one only produced around 150 horsepower and 140 pound-feet of torque. Now on paper, this sounds pretty unimpressive, really. Weighing in at almost 3,000 pounds, the Stream does make a good attempt. It makes a 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour if you're from Asia or Europe of about 10 seconds, with the North American Odyssey of the same vintage ahead by a full second. However, the Odyssey is about 1,000 pounds heavier and has 100 more horsepower thanks to that 3.5 liter V6. The Stream does feature something we never got on the Odysseys here in America. You could either get a 5-speed manual CVT or a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I'd imagine you need a manual for one of these things to get every drop, every ounce of power from that 4-cylinder engine. Also, unlike the American Odyssey of the same vintage from this car, the Stream had an all-wheel drive option as well. Now, I later discovered that the Stream was basically like the CR-V, where it's kind of built on the Civic platform. So that kind of makes a lot more sense of why I had an inline 4 instead of a V6, now that I think about it, honestly. As for our humble Perennial, the engine we have here is about the same as the Honda, albeit it's mounted differently. We have a longitudinally mounted, double overhead cam, inline 4-cylinder engine. I imagine it's something akin to a Honda K20A1, which is also featured in the previous generation of the Honda Stream. The car itself, as I said, is rear-wheel drive and is made into a 5-speed gearbox. So I forgot to write the rest of the script apparently, and yeah, the whole rest of it's going to be off the hook. So let's go ahead and finish this. So, handling. So I noticed that there was a lot of body roll in my handling test, but the car itself seemed to handle itself quite well. I was really impressed with the handling of the car because it's such a large vehicle. And yes, because it is rear-wheel drive, yes, you can do power slides, but it is very difficult due to the nature of the vehicle and the you know, just the sheer size of it, and I think the weight distribution as well. And it's not even enough. It's honestly fairly decently quick. Not like a sedan quick, but it's quicker than I think you would expect for a MPV or a van. So I'll definitely give the Perennial
I have other
that,
missiles to
definitely.
launch.
But yeah, other than that, it's I've really got nothing else to say about the handling. It handled better than I expected, really, honestly. I think it handles about the same as the Cabby, actually, to be fair. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I also need to talk about the special variant in GTA 4, which of course is the Fly US variant. So just like the Perosi, I had to grab it from the airport. Now, I grabbed it from the airport before I started filming, so unfortunately I didn't have any clips of me stealing it, but it was a difficult heist, let me tell you. I had to go to the airport, I had to survive a 4-star wine level, get to the pay and spray. Let me tell you, fellas, it was a doozy. It was a doozy to grab, but I absolutely love it. For some reason in my game, the little light on top of the roof wouldn't go on when you started the vehicle, but it's basically, it looks exactly like the Feroci as far as the paint job goes. They removed the Perennial badge on the rear of the car, and unlike the Feroci, it kept the stock wheels rather than having some steel ones, which honestly I think is totally fine. It would have probably looked kind of weird with those big steel wheels on it instead, to be honest. So I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, I do enjoy the look of the Fly US model, and I think it looks like another cool car to add to my collection. My only gripe, which I guess just makes sense honestly, is they sacrificed the moonroof for the little light on top, which doesn't even work in my game. What the heck, man? Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Perennial. Well, it's definitely a classic, and I do love driving these things in GTA 4. I'm really surprised it didn't make the cut to 5 with its really odd design. Like, I used to think it was based on a JDM Honda Odyssey, but now I've realized it wasn't. It was based on a Honda Stream, a car until now I never knew existed. So that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, fellas, that's pretty much it, really, for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, tell me how I can improve my content. That's pretty much it, really, for this video. So, until next time, have a great 4th of July, and have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see y'all next time.